What's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button if you like the content. You don't have to pay for tutorials. You can come here and learn for free, right? I share information that I have because I want the world to be a better place. Let's move it along. Today's subject is white balancing. Very, very interesting subject. Let's go. White balance. Very, very, very interesting subject, but we're going to cover that today. So what is white balance? In a nutshell, white balance is literally regulating, calibrating all the colors inside your camera so that they match with a light source. This could be a sunlight, this could be fluorescent light, this could be a flash. The color that is cast from a light source must match with the colors inside your camera. Otherwise, you introduce something called a color casting. You don't want that. What's so important about white balancing? I'm glad you asked. Without it, images in your camera begin to take on warm or cool tones, which is very tough to see from the LCD screen in the back. Believe it or not, our eyes and brain are so good at filtering out, quote unquote, white balancing unnatural tones or hues. Now we have to teach our camera to be able to filter that. Otherwise, on its own, it's not able to do that. That is why white balancing is important. Otherwise, you look at the sky and the sky will be purple. You will look at the clouds and the clouds will be blue, right? The fact that you can see the clouds gray or white or whatever color you see the clouds being is as a result of our eyes and brains processing those colors. White balancing. Subjects may be lit by a number of different sources. These are incandescent light, represented by an icon, a light bulb icon. I'm sure you've seen a light bulb icon. A fluorescent light, which does have a tube or fluorescent looking icon. Daylight, represented by the sun. You see an icon that looks like a sun. A flash, represented by a zigzag or jagged arrow. A cloud, represented by a cloud-looking shape. And a shade, which looks like a house with shade on one side. Just scroll through your white balancing so you can see. All those are presets, by the way. It doesn't mean that you have to follow that. You can go manual mode in setting the dials, like the daylight 5,500 Kelvin. So you can do that manually. The higher the number, it gives you a different hue or tone. The lower the number gives you a different hue or tone, whether warm or cool, right? That's why sometimes you see multiple scenes in a movie looking all blue, or certain scenes, especially most African movies, I don't know why they do that. They're casting a lot of warm hues. Like if you notice movies done in Europe or England, London, they look cool, right? They're so cool. Well, that's represented because there is lack of sunlight there. So they're trying to interpret the environment that way. And then most scenes that are shot in like the safari or wherever, or Mexico, or California, where there's so much sunlight, right? They tend to be warm in color. These presets work very well if the light from that room comes from a single light source. In order to make a true determination of what is really white, your camera must be shown what is white under the light source you'll be shooting in. This is called white balancing. Fundamentally speaking, you have to do white balancing each time your light source changes. That means if you go outdoors, point out to the outdoor daylight setting, right? That's the easiest way. If you are indoors, under a fluorescent light, teach your camera or change the setting, a preset on your camera to point to the fluorescent light. Otherwise, you start casting blue lights in a warm environment or having colors that do not represent what you saw. When I was in France, I went into this restaurant which did have warm color tone light bulbs Matter of fact, they were not even warm. They were red. They were casting a red light. So I needed to white balance, which I did not do, but I was in a hurry. In fact, I was just enjoying my meal. So I try to snap pictures without doing a white balance, which is a bad principle, by the way. In so doing, I fly back to the US, which is too late to go and redo because this is a different country. The colors were red. I was eating meat that was done, that was cooked very well, by the way, but it looked red, it looked raw when I was editing the picture. So you want to avoid doing those things. The negative part of using auto white balance, it's typically designed to change from frame to frame, or if the light source changes, right? Or from condition to condition. So that's probably one of the reasons why you want to avoid using white balance. That's it for today. I hope you learned something. Or if you already knew this, I hope you were reminded. Hit that like button if you like the content. It does help the algorithm. And hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.